You are now listening to the National Show with Gangsterville and McGee. The National Show, the National Show, the National Show, no show, no show. The National Show, the National Show, the National Show, no show, no show. All right, No Nation. This is the National Show with Gangsterville and McGee. If you are watching our beautiful, handsome faces on YouTube, make sure you hit the like button, hit the alert button, and subscribe to our YouTube page, which is YouTube.com/@National. That's @NATIONOLE. Excuse me. And then for IG, X, and all the other links, you can catch us on our link tree, which is linktree.com/National Show. That's NATIONOLESHOW. And then finally, you can go directly to the source. Go to that website. Go to the plug, national.com, NATIONOLE.com. Check out the latest show. And check out all of that merch we got, man. You know, it's winter, getting chilly in Arizona, getting chilly in Florida. Going to get you a sweatshirt, get your coffee mug, get whatever FSU National, tongue twisted, No Nation memorabilia that you need, because this is the
national gear,
show, baby.
Get that national gear.
Right, get that national gear.
And thank you to everybody who has already ordered. Orders have been going out at a clip that is impressive. Appreciate you all. Thank you.
Nice. Nice.
Cool. And then I can't wait. I gotta get my package. I gotta get my package ready.
Oh yeah. We're gonna be sporting it real soon.
I feel like we just did this. I like doing this twice a week. Right? I like talking to you, right? You're fun to chat with. But B, I like talking to you specifically about Florida State, even when we come off a loss. And I like that we kind of exercise that early in the week, right? We got it out of our system, and now we get to be like super positive, looking forward, productive members of the community type guys, you know? We have the right mentality as we approach this show right here today. Right? I dig it. We do have to do a quick update to the Pro No report. It's real quick because we did most of it on the Monday show. If you didn't check the Monday show, you should go back and watch the Monday show after this. And we're going to keep doing that. We'll do another Monday show this week, and we'll review this week's game and this week's action, and probably talk about the Bucks. Actually, no, we won't. We will be previewing the Bucks game because the Bucks play Monday night this weekend.
Oh, beautiful.
And we do the bulk of the Pro No report on the Monday morning show. So let's just jam it out real quick, and then we can just dive straight into the college football. All right?
Yes, sir.
Sunday night, after we recorded for Monday morning, there was a football game, right? And that was the Bills, right? Wasn't the Bills Sunday night? Yeah, the Bills played and lost Sunday night to Atlanta. Yeah, that was Sunday, and then the other. Okay, I get it. You know, sometimes I confuse Sundays and Mondays. Keon Coleman, especially because there's two. Whatever. Keon Coleman and the Bills lost to the Atlanta Falcons, 24-14. He only had 3 catches for 11 yards. He's not getting the ball enough. I think that's largely because he's the biggest threat, and so defenses are scheming, right? It's hard to scheme against James Cook, but it is the way it's presently is established. It is possible to scheme against the passing attack by the Bills, and by doing that, by forcing them to rely on the run, you can then deal with that a little bit better because you know it's coming, right? And we've seen them lose 2 games in a row now, right? They lost to New England last week and Atlanta this week. Keon Coleman not getting enough touches. Period. I mean, I think he only has 1 touchdown on the season. So
Yeah.
Monday night there were 2 games, and we had a null in both games. I did that wrong, man. Buffalo and Atlanta played on Monday. The Sunday night game was Kansas City and Detroit.
That's what you're right.
Kansas City beat Detroit 30-17.
Yeah.
Kind of surprising. I was kind of expecting Detroit to be more of a factor in that game. But
like you said, Kansas City getting they swag. The first thing I thought of when they came back, I thought of the show last week when you was like, yo, I don't know what the fuck happens, but mid-season, them just don't bet against the motherfuckers. And I'm looking like this motherfucker was right.
They just start winning games. They start winning games. Right? I hate that it's kind of easy to make the comparisons between today's Chiefs and yesterday's Patriots, right? Not literally yesterday, but you know what I mean. The Patriots. But the Patriots had a touch of this too, where you could other teams would catch them in September largely because they used it as an extended preseason, right? Like a lot of these vets aren't doing a lot of reps in preseason, and the September games become part of that. The Ravens have been like that the last few years, and this year, unfortunately, the health thing caught them too, and now they're kind of jammed up. But if you're not it's just if you're not putting all your veterans out there in preseason to get hit and everything, you got to expect a little bit of rust at the beginning. Sea legs, right? You got to get your legs under you. So our guy Derek Nottie was in on 46% of the defensive snaps, so we love that. It was the most he's played all season. It was in a victory. We love that too. No stats of note though. In on half the defensive plays that we like that.
That just mean it wasn't running his way.
That's right. And then Monday, so that was Sunday night. Monday night, we talked about the Buffalo Atlanta game and Keon Coleman. The other game Monday night was the Bears at the Washington Commanders, and Eddie Goldman, 1 tackle. He was actually listed as questionable with an illness. And he still went out there and played, and he's now back listed as questionable for next week. So whatever that illness is, we hope he gets back to 100%. 2 other things while we're doing this pro null update. Malik Beasley with a week and a half until NBA season. He's still a free agent. So
Lakers.
Someone's going to get him cheap. Someone's going to get, and he was so wet from 3 last year. Someone's going to get him cheap, man. Hey, man, he joins the Nuggets. If he would like to get into content creation, maybe he could anchor the national basketball show. We got a huge chunk of stock and for him. He could be one of the major stakeholders in national enterprises. Would love to have him as a business partner. Wait a minute. Maybe we don't want him to have him as a business. He's had a rough go of it. All right. Last one. Save the best for last, right? Cal Raleigh. Big dumper. Seattle Mariners are up 2-1 on the Blue Jays in the division series. Big dumper in those 3 games has 2 home runs and is leading in not just on the field but off. It seemingly he is leading the Mariners potentially into the championship series after this. We'll see, and who knows? Maybe they're going to make it to the World Series. They're playing very well. They're getting a lot out of their pitching staff, and he's the catcher, so he's a big part of that too. That's what's crazy about him being such a weapon offensively in baseball is that you don't see that out of catchers. Catchers are the game managers. They're busy. They're going. Plus, on top of that, they're getting up and down from the stance, and they're putting on the pads in between and every inning. They're doing so much more than most of the other players that they often don't have. You don't see the offensive productivity. They're not able to dial in and focus the way Cal Raleigh has, and it's continued into the playoffs. So
Nice.
keep it up, man. Keep it up. You're making all the Noel Nation very proud, and we appreciate that. And it is, or that was, pardon me, that was your Pro Noel Report for Thursday, October 16th, presented by National.com.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. So
yeah, that's what's up, man. It's nice. It'd be nice to see a Noel in the World Series this year.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, oh,
I think the last one off the top of my head is Buster Posey, but there might have been one. Oh no, Luke Weaver was there last year with the Yankees. Pardon me.
Oh really? Okay, cool.
They lost. The Yankees lost last year, but they were in there against the Dodgers.
Word. Okay.
All right. Let's get to this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine we should save Florida State for last, right? We should talk about other games first.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's one game that isn't. So usually we just kind of discuss the matchups between ranked teams for the weekend, right? But there's one game that we should discuss where one of the teams is not ranked, and it's a Friday night game. Mm-hmm. It is Louisville at Miami, Friday night. The public loves Miami. Miami's proved to be very good, so I understand why the public would be drinking that juice. Plus, it's a home game. Plus, it's Friday night. They got the prime time. It's a big spot. Mm-hmm. This line opened at 6.5, and the public has bet it up 13.5 points. So it's Louisville plus 13.5, Miami minus 13.5. I mean, it's hard to argue that Miami's not the better team, but are they 2 touchdowns better?
Yeah. yeah. Like I say, man, Mario built this team from the inside. He got a hell of an offensive line and a hell of a defensive line. So in order to beat them, you have to, 1, pressure their quarterback, who I don't think has been pressured all year long. And then 2, you have to make sure your quarterback isn't being pressured, which we didn't do too much a good job last time we played them. So I think Louisville, even with the NIL era, even if they have enough talent to, start the game with them, I don't think they have enough depth. That's the difference in Miami and a lot of these teams now. Not only do they have talent, they have depth. And that's something that's missing from a lot of programs, man. So that's how, South Florida's able to beat Florida one week and then, get creamed by Miami a couple weeks later, because Miami has that depth. And essentially they have that depth on the offensive and defensive line, man. So, yeah. And that defensive end, both of those defensive ends they got are monsters. So
I see your point. And ultimately, a lot of these guys from Louisville are from Florida, right? Always without fail. Yep. And this is going to be a very big game to a lot of them. Louisville hasn't had a big game yet. I know they lost to Virginia. That was a pretty big game, I guess, for them, especially now Virginia's, climbing the rankings. But, and they beat Pitt, which is a big game for them. But this is this is probably the first game that was circled on the calendar preseason, before before the season started. This is Miami at Miami. This is a Friday night. This is a big deal. Yep. I could see Louisville coming out and really doing their very best, having a great first half. I see what you're saying, though. They are not going to be able to hang with the depth of Miami if, as the game gets later, Miami still has fresh legs. If they use that depth well, and if essentially they pull away late, I can see that. And cover that 14 with, probably a couple points to spare, late in the game.
Yep. And that's not
9
even to bring
score
in
a touchdown late or something.
Yeah, and also they create turnovers and they don't turn the ball over. That's another great aspect of their team.
Yeah. Although Louisville, same can be said for Louisville. They've been very effective on offense. They have
They've
only lost the one game to Virginia. They played very well.
And that was a close game too. That was a very close
they lost
game, just like Florida State and Virginia.
Virginia's kind of on a mission, you know. And that's
Yeah.
they just got the better of Louisville that day, like they got the better of us. And
Oh, that.
they, when you make that a habit, like then you become a winning team, right? You start winning the close ones. Like that's
Their
the
coach
trick.
is getting paid next year. He is getting paid, whether he gets a restructured contract in Virginia or someone else picks him up.
There's a
Buddy
job
is
that just
going.
became available not too far north, right? Not too far
Right.
north.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just doing some quick estimation. I'm thinking it's about 3 hours and 15-minute drive. Maybe 3.5. You know.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I hadn't even thought about him. I was thinking Gruden. I was
Mm-hmm.
thinking Gruden would get that job. We are coyly referencing the Penn State job that's now available.
Mm-hmm.
I was the one that was loud about before the season started about betting on Penn State, and just 2 years in a row I was loud about it. But
Mm-hmm.
that job's available. Okay, let's keep going there because there's some really good games this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Out west, Utah, who is now 23rd, is playing at BYU 15. And usually I am always betting on Utah or Utah State against BYU because
Mm-hmm.
there's a weird triumvirate rivalry there, you know, and BYU is like the least liked of the three. There, you know what? BYU is the Florida of Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and Utah State are the Miami and Florida State of Florida.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Right?
Mm-hmm.
So everybody dislikes BYU, but
Mm-hmm.
BYU has been playing very well, especially last week, and they're getting a couple points at home. They're getting 3.5 points at home.
Mm-hmm.
It might be worth putting a little something on BYU.
Yeah, I caught one of their games earlier, and BYU and Utah, every 4 or 5 years they get one of these teams where they've played together for 3 or 4 years, and now there's a bunch of juniors and seniors, and they've been to war together. And now, with the NIL, they get those extra pieces to make that nice little team to go with. That's what we have from BYU this year, man. You could tell they some dogs, and they played together for a minute. So that's who I'm rolling with.
Is Utah the team, or is that where Cam Ward went in between Immaculate Word or whatever it was? And then where did he
Oregon
go?
State. It was like
Oh,
Oregon State or something. Yeah.
No, Oregon State was DJU.
Hmm?
Cam was
What
at,
was
I
it?
think Cam was at Utah, bro.
Nah,
I
hold
think he was
on.
at Utah.
Cam
You
Ward.
look it up.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right
Because
now.
this is one we should know.
Washington State. That's where he was
Washington
at.
State. I knew he was in one of those teams out there.
Yeah.
All right. Next. Number 20 USC. Also been playing pretty well lately. Really well last week on offense. They're going to have to deal with like the last stand of Notre Dame. Like if Notre Dame's in playoffs already, right? If Notre Dame loses, they're not going to attain some of their goals, right? USC is getting 9.5 points at Notre Dame this weekend. This is a storied rivalry so it's always emotionally high. 9.5 points seems like a lot considering the two teams have such history and such distaste. UNC's 20th in the country right now. Notre Dame's 13th.
That's crazy. And it's 9.5? Ooh.
Right? That seems like a lot of points. I feel like the betting public's sleeping on USC big time.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be 9.5, bro.
Wow, man. I like USC a lot in this game.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're live
even if
dogs.
they don't win, I don't think they're gonna lose by
I don't
10
either.
points. Basically,
that's exactly how I feel, man. I don't think it's gonna be more than a single possession game in either direction, right? But I think it's gonna be a close game. I just do. They always play them tough, even in off years. And this year's not an off year. I think USC is really good. Now, Notre Dame has been getting better every week. CJ Carr, if I would like to watch them play Miami in 3 weeks, right? Like when they played, Notre Dame wasn't even close to who Notre Dame is this year.
Yeah,
right? They needed a few games to figure it out. But because of that, they dropped a few. And like I said, they're in playoff mode. Now they have to win. So I think that kind of brings the best out of them. So,
Right.
I understand why the public likes Notre Dame here, but 9.5 is too many points. So I'm hopping on USC. And in fact, maybe I wait. Because if there's so much money coming in on the public favorite, and Notre Dame always gets too much money because they always are a public favorite. If that money keeps coming in, maybe it ticks up to 10. And so maybe I wait till kickoff and see where that number gets to and try to get the best number possible.
Good idea. Hell yeah.
2 more I want to talk about before we get to the important one. Number 11, Tennessee. Road game. They are getting 8.5 points at number 6, Alabama. Alabama, the only L they've taken is to our guys. It's the only thing we have to hang our hat on right now.
Yeah. We beat Alabama.
Yep, that's it. All of a sudden, every weekend, we're like cheering for the fucking elephant. It's weird. It's real weird. 8.5, and we just talked about a 9.5 point spread in USC Notre Dame. This is 8.5 in Tennessee, Alabama. Like, these are really big numbers. We talked about 13.5 in Louisville at Miami. You don't see numbers this big in like big time college football games. You see it in in off weeks. We'll call them, right, but you don't see it. That's a lot of points for a big game, really big game.
Yeah, but Tennessee is one of the two teams out the SEC that I think probably could cover a spread like that versus Alabama because of that fast-paced offense that they have. But it is in Bryant-Denny Stadium, so it's in Alabama. So with that being said, I don't see him. I believe Alabama's quarterback has developed enough now, and he got some legs on him. He can run too, to where they can keep their offense up with Tennessee's to make it within a touchdown or so at the end of the game or whatever. I don't see either team really pulling away more than a touchdown after the fourth quarter on this one.
Dayball and this quarterback seems to have synced. And maybe it took a week. Maybe that's part of the reason that they dropped week 1. Also, it was kind of everything was stacked against them, right? They had injuries. We were fully healthy. We had the emotional
and nobody knew what to expect from us. The new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, new schemes, new players. Nobody
had
knew
no
what
tape
to
on
expect
us.
from us.
Right? They had no tape. It was kind of they were kind of set up for that was a bad spot for them. That being said, since as they've gotten healthy and as they've gotten it together, it really does seem like quarterback and head coach are on the same page, and that is everybody else in the SEC should be worried because Alabama looks like they could roll this rest of the season, and the SEC is attainable for them. Right? There's not right. LSU has their weaknesses. Georgia's underperforming. Right? Like it's. Texas A&M flirts with good, or great. They're good, but they flirt with great, but they don't stay great. A&M would have to play the greatest game ever to knock out Alabama. In the SEC championship, I think they're probably going to take that. But just like we talked about with Louisville, this is a game that Tennessee has had circled, right? They're going to bring their A game. Everybody wants to go to Alabama and get a W. It's just really hard to do. Really hard to do. Kind of hope you got it last year. Kind of hope you got it last year because it's going to get it's kind of back to getting Alabama E. I don't know if that'll continue. Right? I don't know if this is Dayball taking advantage of the carryover of the Saban impact and everything, and I don't know if he's going to be able to continue the recruiting and everything moving forward with the same gravitas when he enters a high school gym or when he drops the crimson-colored helicopter out onto the football field.
They
But
still gonna have the upper hand because they got the money and the facilities,
they
no
do
matter
have
who's
resources.
sitting back there.
They
Yeah.
do have
Have you
resources,
seen
and
out
they have
their
a reputation.
facilities though?
And
Have
they
you
have
seen like
reputation.
their
Oh yeah,
yeah,
oh yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Saban
It's
was
like
smart about directing the expenditure of fundage before they had to
yeah. Well, even before
report
then,
how
like
much they
even
were paying.
during the Nick Saban years, he built the facilities up to damn near it's NFL teams that can't even compete with what Alabama got down there, bro. So yeah, that alone will get a play. Hell, that's one of the reasons why Jimbo apparently was wanting to leave Florida State way back in the days, because we wouldn't upgrade our facilities and stuff or whatever. So yeah, and a lot of that goes into recruiting, man.
Yeah, that was a big part of the arms race for a while before the NIL era was facilities. You started seeing what Nike built. LSU is the one that really did like something special for the students, or for the athletes, student athletes. But every school started doing that. 50 million, $70 million practice facilities and shit.
It's the reason why Alabama, LSU, Oregon, why those three are always getting recruits, no matter what coach they're gonna have, or whatever, because those facilities
Also
are
good for
immaculate.
business. It's also good for business, man. Ultimately universities are land development plays, right? You got to increase value of the property that you're holding, right? Like anybody else, and the related properties around it. So it's sort of how when you don't have to pay your employees or your labor staff, right? You can spend the income on other things. Right now, maybe that changes. Maybe teams won't be remodeling so quickly. Maybe they're going to wait 10 years instead of 5 years to redo things moving forward, because they're going to have to give that 20 mil to students. But we'll see. All right, one more game. I think it's the biggest game on the weekend. I'm so excited. I bet you know what I'm talking about. Number 5. Number 5. The Fighting Lane Kiffins from Ole Miss.
I like that better than real
getting
mascot.
plus 7.5. A number 5 in the nation getting plus 7.5 points at number 9, the Georgia Bulldogs. Crazy that Georgia is favored this many points. That's straight up reputation. That's straight up reputation, man. That is not a real thing. That is not people looking at this year.
I'm dropping my money on that as soon as this show ends. As soon as I hit end record, I'm logging in the website and dropping in money, baby.
Lane Kiffin has a legitimate chance to win a national title this year, right? I didn't bring it up when talking about the SEC, but like a second ago when I talked about A&M, when I talked about LSU, but this is the other team other than Alabama. This is the team. They may play in the SEC championship and then may have to play again in the playoffs at some point. Potentially at the end of the playoffs. I think Ole Miss is, let's just say, in context of this weekend, right? I think they are the better of the two teams on the field.
Yeah. And they got the one kryptonite for Georgia is they have offense. They have instant offense. They can
they're high scoring.
And Georgia is
struggling.
And
they've done it against a bunch of teams. It's not like usually when Lane Kiffin does it against the little teams. But now you've seen him halfway into the season. He's done it against teams with real defenses. And Georgia has been underperforming on defense. All they bring into the table right now are athletes and, a logo. Right? That's it. They're bringing a home field advantage and athletes. That's not enough. They're not playing well enough on defense, and Lane Kiffin's going to take advantage of that. Not only do I think they win, do I think they beat the spread? I think they probably win the game.
Same. Yeah.
I think they probably win the game. And real quick, we should probably look that up and see what the money line is for that. Because you can get that. Let's see. That could be a good bet. Plus 230. That's not bad, man. 2.3x on your money. That's probably worth a little flyer. So you put half of the, you put 2x on the spread, 1x on the money line. If you have this 8.5 point window or 7.5 window where you can hit the spread and cover your loss, but if you win the game, you're gonna win both bets. That's the play.
Yeah.
That's my favorite play this weekend too. I think.
Me too. Oh, it's locked and loaded.
It's been a weird year for Georgia. It's been weird. It's been just an off year, and they're kind of still recovering from 2 years of putting everybody
the
in the
NFL bleeding them. Yeah, the
and
NFL
simultaneously, the NIL world has thinned out everybody's roster a little bit.
That's the two effect. It's even in the old pre-NIL era, they would still be hurting out of all the talent that they lost.
But they would have replenished quicker.
Yeah, I don't think they would have had replenished as much, but they still would have replenished more than now. But having that and NIL, oh man, they are.
They got no chance now, man. Well, I mean, they're just it's leveled. The playing field's leveled. They're in the same boat Alabama is. Alabama had to rebuild, right? And they did it on the fly, and they had a lot of resources there to make it go smoother. But they had to rebuild that, and they had to plan for it. And you know what? Even though they had lost a bunch of games, including the Vanderbilt, in the long run, that actually helped Daboll and end that rebuild, right? That rallied everybody. Like that showed everybody how bad it was and how much they needed, how harder they needed to work. Georgia did not prepare for the rebuild, right? And that's the sign of bad upper management, not lower management, right? That's not Kirby's fault as much as. Well, it's not Kirby, the head coach's fault. It's Kirby, the CEO's fault.
Yeah, there you go.
He may have failed himself.
Yep. But then you never I was talking with somebody. You never know what's going on behind the scenes. You never know. Kirby can't write the checks. So someone made this. Matter of fact, Jordan Travis said this about Mike Norvell. He was like, everyone talks about Mike Norvell and he can't recruit and stuff or whatever. Well, recruiting now is about writing checks, and if you can't sign the checks, then it isn't like the days of Bobby Bowden where, hey, come on down, son, I'll take care of you. You know what I'm saying? It's now how much money you gonna give me. You know what I mean? And you have to call. Okay, can we clear him for this amount? No, okay, cool, or whatever. You know what I mean? Because now the biggest recruits are just getting the biggest paychecks. And no matter how big you are, even big as Georgia, you can't pay them all. You know what I mean? You can't pay 8 people to be on your defensive line like you did 4 years ago. This is over the table, not under the table. So yeah.
I mean, you don't think they make more than 10 or 12 million collectively as a community? You don't think they make more than 10 or 12 million off of having a great defensive line? Like that generates wins, right? Having a good defensive line for Georgia generate wins, which pushes ticket sales, pushes revenue for local restaurants and bars, pushes hotel revenue, all that stuff, and TV money. Right. And eyes and this and that and this. I imagine spending 10 or $12 million across 8 guys, across 8 defensive linemen is a good investment. I imagine you can get return on that if you give it to the right 8 guys. That's
if
you if you fuck up, you are now behind the 8 ball, and you're jammed up, and you're not going to be able to get that money from the donors next year if they don't feel like they got return on their investment this year. Yeah. So it makes it really fucking hard. It makes it a real balancing act.
Yeah, the hard part with it is it's more like the salary cap with the NFL now. Like I want to say, they say in order to build a championship team, it costs about $20 million, but it's only a handful of schools that's actually paying the $20 million. And then when you
Ohio State's spending more than 20.
Yeah, of course, Ohio State. Yeah, but when you
45, 50, right?
Yeah, but when you name the other schools, it's like they're like schools that are not even producing; they're just buying people. I think SMU was like one of the schools and stuff.
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech.
But look, it's paying off.
Texas A&M or whatever.
Texas Tech is winning games. They're competing against good talent. They're rising in profile, right? They're getting eyes. And honestly, now everybody's arguing shit. They're beating everybody. But they could be winning even more if they put this backup. I mean, if they put the freshman quarterback in. Like,
but
they're
the bottom
really
line is
good. You
can't pay them all, and you can't outbid everybody. That's just what it all boils down to. You know what I mean? And in order to win, like Georgia has been winning, they can't spend that. You can't max out everybody on the defensive line, offensive line, tight end, quarterback. You see, they tried with J.R. Rashada. They paid him, and he ended up going somewhere else or whatever for a bigger check because it didn't even turn. They wasted money on him because they actually put in Gunnar Stockton above him while they was paying him. So yeah, and that's the other part of it.
This is why the GM position is so important now.
Yeah, you give these kids all of these fucking money, and then they turn around and lay an egg on you. Look at Marvin Jones Jr. with us last year, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's tough, man, because you could be spending it, but yeah, you got talent around him now.
It must have just been a weird vibe. Now, we should probably start talking about our game.
Yeah, buddy.
Okay. I don't like losing 3 games in a row, and I see a touch of, you know what I mean? And I see a touch of that, what could lead to that attitude from last year that we were just talking about. Marvin Jones Jr. hated. He did not thrive in, right? Mm-hmm. I don't want to see things go dark in Tallahassee because honestly, like if you would have told me preseason we had 3 losses at this point, I wouldn't have been crazy about that. It's just that we beat Alabama, and it just changed everybody's expectations, including my own. Right?
Yeah,
this is a big game. This is a big game.
Mm-hmm.
It's not supposed to be. Stanford's not good, right? God forbid if somehow we lose this football game. I don't know where the money's coming from for the buyout, but watch out, man. Coach Norvell might be left. He might not be on the plane back to Tallahassee.
Yeah, especially with all of the firings and stuff that's been going around.
Cannot I can lose
see that, bro. And it's I'm kind of in the middle because, well, I'm not in the middle, but I lean towards the middle because we've been fighting in each of these losses that we had or whatever. It wasn't like we just laid down and shit the bed like we did last year or whatever, or gave up in the first or second quarter. We went from losing in overtime to, almost coming back in the fourth quarter. And then even last week, fighting all the way throughout the game. The team has that fight in them. Yeah. I think it's just a situation where it's just a bunch of pieces slapped together and they're real good, damn good. But haven't, been in the same system, haven't worked together, and then you add injuries in there. I'm reading up on how Castellanos has been.
Our wide receivers.
Yeah, right. Wide receiver room is shot to
Tommy
shit.
Castellanos is the guy that fights through it, right? He's the guy that fights through it. But because of his style of play, you look back to the last couple of years, man, he's almost always banged up at the end of the year. Right? Yep. And it might. I don't know if everyone's going to come back and we're going to have this great end of the season. And it's scary.
But I still look at because they say he was hurt in the Virginia game and then he got hurt in the beginning of the Pitt game or whatever. Yeah. So he was, really banged up last game. But even with him being banged up that much, I still like what he produced on the field. I feel like we are still getting the best out of the situation that was put in front of us. And I still feel that we have improved greatly upon the team that we had last year.
Indeed.
So those are the positives that I've got to say. Now, as far as the negatives, like even with the positive, it's fucking Florida State, man. Like we can't go over a year without winning a fucking ACC game,
Yeah. It's weird how important this Stanford game is. Hey, it's weird that it is an ACC game, right? It's weird.
Wasn't this our last ACC win?
No, that was Cal.
Damn, so was, yeah.
Right across the bay, right? It's weird that those two teams are in the ACC. It's weird that it's called the Atlantic Coast Conference, but there's a 3,000 fucking mile flight to the Pacific Coast to play. It's weird
Atlantic Coast Conference, and we playing a Pacific team.
Right? It's wild. Having won a game in a year in the conference, this is incredibly important. Now, I say all that to say, we're 13.5-point favorites. All right. Everybody and their mother recognizes that A, Florida State is better, and B, Florida State can't lose, cannot lose. Now, that's probably bet the number up, right? It's probably not worth betting on Florida State at this point. 13.5 points is a lot. But I like that nobody else is worried that I like that nobody else is worried about this game because we really need a W. We really need a W, and that it's just strange that a very bad Stanford game is so important.
Yeah. Literally, the theme of the weekend for us is don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up.
And not for nothing, there's an economy on the line. There are jobs on the line. Like that buyout comes from somebody, and you know where it comes from? It comes from future NIL spending, right? Like that's where that buyout money comes from the same place where the NIL bags come from. And if that NIL bag money is 60 million light or 50 million light, that hurts us for the next 2 years, 3 years.
That's why I don't think they'll fire him this year. I honestly think
I don't think they can.
unless it gets like really, really bad, like losing to Stanford this weekend.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It could be really, really bad on Saturday. On Saturday.
Yeah. So back to what you said, that this game is important because with all of these changes, all of this money invested into this new team so far, you can't wet the bed with Stanford. Period.
Frank Reich is their head coach. Andrew Luck is their GM. By all accounts, he's doing a lot of good things on the money side, the fundraising side, and changing, kind of the collective, idea around Stanford football and what it could be and where to go as a organization. But they're not there. They're a bad team. I mean, they're a bad team. I just hope that their Super Bowl isn't Saturday and they don't come to play. And I really hope Florida State doesn't take it lightly, because if it starts going bad early, it's that, what's the movie with Shane Falco? The Replacements. It's fucking the quicksand thing. You lose, you start fighting harder, things get worse, you lose again because you're panicking and how you're fighting, and you try to do too much and all that shit. We've had 3 losses in a row. So these guys, young kids, have short fucking memories, man. They don't even remember the last win. And all of a sudden, like, if it starts going bad against Stanford, it could spiral.
Oh yeah, definitely agree on that.
Got to come out strong, and that might be hard after such a long trip all the way out there or whatever. But that first quarter need to fucking crush. Like, Gus has to do the Gus things, and they have to work in quarter one, right? Like, we need that
late game too.
Not out there though.
Yeah, not out there. It's 7:30 our time, but it's gonna be 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. So
yeah, great. It's gonna be awesome. I can't wait.
Coffee, man.
Put the kids to bed, baby. All right, put the kids to bed or sell them. I'm kidding. I don't have kids. I can make those jokes, right? Yeah, it's a big one, buddy. It's a big one. What are you gonna do Saturday night?
I don't know, dude. I mean, it's not too late for me. It's 7:30, so
yeah, it's great.
Got time to get it in or whatever.
Fire the grill up.
Right. I don't know. I'll probably be nervous. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm gonna be too nervous to grill, bro. I'm gonna be too nerves are still that day, man. I just
you should holler at our buddy Jimmy Trifecta. He could use a good time, man. Poor guy's a Ravens fan.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah, poor guy's a Ravens fan. Your new neighbor. All right. Listen. I can't believe, once again, I keep going back to it, but I can't believe how big of a game this is. We'll be back on Monday and we'll talk about it, right? But yeah, it's important, man. Get them ready, bud. Get them ready,
man.
Big responsibility for you. Get them ready.
I'm gonna keep it simple this week, guys. And this is for my people that bleed garnet and gold. This ain't for my paid assassins. This is not for my one-hit wonders. This is not for my just stepping through players that's on the team. This is for the players that grew up watching Jimbo Fisher. because we old. We grew up on Bobby. This the ones that grew up watching Jimbo Fisher and Jameis Winston. This is the ones that kind of have a small inkling of the old Florida State logo that's sitting behind McGee's head right now. This is for my no-blooded people. And I'm going to just say this and leave you with this. You have to fight for the Seminoles of Florida State. And that's it, baby. That's it.
Gotta want it. No one's gonna do it for you.
That's it.
Tell them, coach.
You gotta fight, baby. That's it.
All right. The National Show is co-produced by Broham and B Yappin, the Bet Your Ash Podcast Network. If you prefer the show as an audio product, it is available at betyourash.com or the Bet Your Ash feeds on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. If you like watching the show, please make sure you subscribe and sign up for notifications on YouTube. It is youtube.com/@national, NATIONOLE. Also, we have all the social medias. You can just check out all the links. It's on our link tree. It's linktree/national show, NATIONOLESHOW. And also on Linktree, Gangsterville got a Linktree. It has all the links to all his social medias, plus all the links to all the music streaming services where you can enjoy his incredible catalog. It is big, and it is getting added to regularly and soon. So listen to his music on all of the platforms, like it and share it and etc. on all of the platforms, because that's the best way to support your friends that make music. Gangsterville is a good person to support. He deserves it. Also, you can go and find all those links for all our socials, as well as some very stylish merch that you might need as the weather gets colder. You might need a hoodie or a zip up, just saying. Holidays are coming. Buy extras, give them as presents. You can find all that stuff at national.com, NATIONOLE.com. You guys know how to spell .com. And we'll be back Monday. We're going to recap this game. We're going to give you a pro-no report for the weekend. We're going to give you an update on Big Dumper and the Mariners. We're just going to do all things Noel like we do. Probably going to do a little preview for the Buccaneers game, too. Buccaneers going Lions on Monday Night Football. That's a big one.
Hell yeah.
And, is that everything? I'm sure I covered it all, right? I nailed it.
Yeah. Knocked it out the park.
All right. Go Noles.
Go Noles.
And you have just finished listening to The National Show with Gangsta, Physio, and McGee.